Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Camille DG, the disruptive entrepreneur, registered nurse, property developer and investor, and the unapologetic voice behind my new podcast, Speak It Real, where migrant entrepreneurs join me. We talk about and pull the curtains back on things that they asked us to stay quiet on, but no longer willing to stay quiet on. Today, I'm going to talk about property development and why I've chosen it as the end game for my life, for my business career, my choices. I believe that business owners and entrepreneurs who are experienced and they're looking to diversify their income, increase their knowledge and skills, always they're going to lean towards the property industry, because not only will it diversify your income, give you the knowledge and skills for the next level of you, but it's a strong and steady investment. It is very profitable if you know what you are doing, and it leaves behind a very strong legacy for your kin. Leaving some game here, one of the most important things to remember when you're thinking about going into property development or property investing, one of the most important things you need to look at is the cost analysis of these projects and these investments. By that, I mean a feasibility study. One of the first things that I learned as a property developer is how to do and complete a feasibility study, including such things as how much is the land going to cost you? How much are the materials going to cost you? We call it a POC, or a profit on cost. You will often hear property developers and investors talking about POC. POC is the profit on cost. So you may have emotions attached to your investments or your developments. You cannot use emotions when investing in property. It is very important to understand that the feasibility study and the cost analysis is the first thing that you need to look at when investing in property. Your funds will easily go down south if you do not do this. I'll put a link in the description for a free template of what a feasibility study and a clear POC looks like, and how that will be able to help you do your cost analysis, do your feasibility study for your project. One of the things within the feasibility study or the cost analysis of a project will consist of is factoring in cost of the land and the materials, and factoring in your unexpected costs, like if there is an increase in the materials used to build the project, or during, for example, there's rocks dug up when they're preparing the slab, that could be quite costly. You need to factor in costs as how much you're going to spend. Say you're wanting to develop in an area that is underdeveloped, and the electricity, the wiring, the NBN, the services, the water services, you'd need to drag out the services, and per meter, there will be an increase in cost when preparing and dragging out the services to a certain land, to a certain area that is underdeveloped. And that could add up big time. When it comes to preparation of materials or inquiring about what type of materials should be used on your project, a lot of investors, a lot of developers look at investor grade or investor quality materials where they're durable and cheap, to be quite frank with you. Then, depending on the investors that are going to invest on your projects, on your developments, it is up to them to then discuss with the builder what type of extras they would like added on, fixtures and what have you. They can add that on to the cost. It shouldn't have to be you as a developer that factors in those extra fixtures and those extra costs for your clients. Another important thing when looking at a block of land to develop are the surrounding areas. Do your research around that area. What does the population look like? What does the surrounding area look like? Is it a low socioeconomic area? Are you building a project that is quite expensive for the area that it's in? What does the surrounding infrastructure look like? Are there universities there? Are you building projects for university students to live in? Is there a McDonald's or KFC or main eatery Grocery stores, what does that look like? Then you look at the potential for growth. Based on your research, what are the possibility or potential for growth in that area? What does it look like? Are they planning to build a school near there? What are the plans of the local council for that region? Are there parks that are going to be built around that area? One of the most important things that you need to look at when developing your project, especially in Australia, are the flood zones. You need to be looking at the local council's website, at the flood zones and the overlays and the layers. They're easily viewable on your local council's website. The flood overlays. You're also able to have a look whether there are easements on that property, that particular block of land that you're looking to develop on, whether there's what's going on underneath before you pour a slab and build. One of the main software that property developers and investors look at before they build is the RP data. You'll be able to gather specific details on that property, like who owned it first, who owns it now, whether there are caveats on that property, what is the actual real property address. That's what RP stands for. Stash is a product/software that property developers use to do their research on a property before developing. Stash will show you who currently owns the property. A lot of the time, you will send that owner a letter, or you will door knock if that is an off-market project that you are interested in developing. That's where the real money is made. On another video, I will be talking about property options and the game behind that. Another main reason why business owners and entrepreneurs are afraid of, or they're challenged by the thought of doing projects or property developments, is the funding behind it. Funding also requires a lot of research. By that, I mean, how are you going to fund your project? Are you going to use your own capital? Are you going to use your own current cash flow with your other business? That can be quite risky too, just using your own capital. Will you joint venture with a family member, a friend, or a joint venture partner or business partner? Things to watch out for when joint venturing with a business partner or a family member. You need to find out what their spending habits look like, what their cash flow looks like. You should both be transparent with each other regarding your finances, because if anything goes wrong, you need to be able to borrow money to complete your project. So those are the main things that you should be looking at as a newbie property investor, property developer. Most developers are already experienced business owners and entrepreneurs because they're the only ones with the appetite for risk. As I discussed before, property development and investment, very lucrative and profitable, but you must de-risk your project by knowing all the back-end stuff and ensure your current business has enough cash flow to take you through while you're building your projects. I hope you got some game out of that. See you on the next video.